Ladies and gentlemen, look at you all there, you dead set legends. Let me just thank a few people before we rock and roll into this massive show. Just want to thank my Patreon bangers, and you might recognize one of the names in the middle there, third middle. You might recognize the name there, being a Patreon supporter since day one for just as little as 50 cents a week. You get some background knowledge of who's coming on the show and up-and-coming stuff in the Aussie arm wrestler. And, of course, my Patreon bangers. It is all happening left, right, and center. The colossal is growing when it comes to it, and I cannot thank each and every one of you enough for supporting the show. Whether you're liking the video, whether you're sharing the video, whether you're subscribed, donate, whatever, you guys are dead set legends, and I cannot thank you enough. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ready Bang, the #1 arm wrestling live stream show in the world. I'm your host, the Aussie arm wrestler, and of course, I am your Melbourne Cup 2019 80 to 95 kilo left arm third place amateur superstar, the most sought after trophy in the arm wrestling world. And look at my guest. If we could quote The Rock, I could say, finally, I have pulled my finger out of my ass and got my man on the show. I mean, this woolly mammoth is a global superstar. WAL, Arm Wars, just quietly has 17 national titles and 3 of the finest world titles. All you got to do, everyone, is just get all aboard the E-Train, and he is making left arm great again. Ryan Espey, welcome finally to the show.
Finally. Thank you for finally having me on the show.
I am super pumped. For those that don't know, let me just quickly say 2 things. If Ryan's internet does cut in and out, there's a windstorm. He literally looks out the window and it looks like the old Wizard of Oz at Kansas City, where it's houses are flying everywhere. You were just telling me that there was bin lids or something flying around.
Bins and real estate signs and all kinds of stuff flying around.
It's absolute madness. And then, of course, you're dead set legends. Just really loving what's going on. Everyone, give us a ready bang in the chat, like we have here from Gorilla Arms, one of my subs. All of my people are there. Phil Woody, all my subscribers, which is good. I'll be pulling at the same event as Ryan on May 21st. We'll get to that a little bit later on. And Dan John's just followed you, and he's just signed up for Patreon. Awesome, Dan John 73. Let me know if you want your real name or your YouTube name on there. Thank you very much for signing up. Arm Wars director himself is up and about and everything there. Even Facebook's commenting. Billy Berg, he's going to be my eyes on the prize. Hopefully, I'm going to get him on the show because he is heading to Las Vegas right now. Everyone is just giving a ready bang and sit there. And guys, when I am so excited to say Ryan's finally on the show, about 18 months ago, Ryan got me on his show. And I was like, yeah. And Ryan's like, of course, man, I'll come on your show, of course. And I was like, yeah. And he's on my list. I was just telling him before, and he was on my list. So I'm like, yeah, right. Speak to Ryan and coerce with Ryan and whatnot. And then I was looking at photos, and I was like, man, it's been a long 18 months since I've had Ryan. Since like waiting to get him on the show. And I'm glad that he has done it. Man, first thing we've got to ask, how is the injury coming? We will get to Arm Wars, but how's the injury coming along?
The right-handed injury.
Yeah.
Well, I never did have surgery. So
wow.
The specialists, there's 3 of them that actually looked at my arm, and they said it would be the equivalent of trying to sew 2 pieces of a wet paper bag together. So if they were successful, they would have to immobilize my wrist basically in this position for months and months and months. So after that happened, if the surgery was successful, then I would still have to go through all the rehab, gaining back range of motion, all that kind of stuff before I'd even start strengthening it. So by the time I'm ready to arm wrestle again, I'm going to be 50 years old. So they said the success rate for it is going to be very, very marginal, very slim. And I opted to not get the surgery. They probably wouldn't have done it anyway. I'd have to fly somewhere and do it. But I'm happy to say that it's actually scarred down and it's starting to heal. So I'm thinking about actually pulling the tournament right-handed in Vegas.
Oh,
yeah.
Winner takes it all. Oh, beautiful. So it's feeling not too bad to get on the table then.
It's okay. I mean, we'll see how it performs, but I still have a hit and I still am very, very strong in certain positions. There's other ones that I have to protect. So not that I feel like I'm hurt at all. It's healthy in the sense that I'm not injured anymore, but there are positions where I'm just not strong, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because, I mean, what are you weighing in these days?
377 this morning.
What?
Yeah,
no. So. Wow.
My weight doesn't change all that much, but man, I feel pretty good. And the left arm, it's kind of been a weird thing for me because you know how Devin always trains the right arm only.
Yeah.
I have taken the opposite approach, and I've been training my left hand exclusively.
Yes, so, it's all about the left arm.
I have never, ever done that before in my whole career, focused exclusively on one arm. So we're going to see the result coming up.
Yes, we cannot wait for 377. Wow. Yeah. And you look at healthy 377 as well. It's like you see, Akibono and sumo wrestlers that big, and you're like, oh, and you've been in the pro wrestling game. So you see them, you're like, dude, you're just fat, but you're looking pretty healthy. And I'm very, very happy that the injury's healing and the left arm is feeling strong. And we'll get to the because your nickname you've given yourself today, Monster Hunter. We will
let's be clear. It's still the Manitoba Mastiff or the E-Train or whatever you want to call me. It's only Monster Hunter for the purpose of the task at hand.
That is right. And some people are excited, saying already Vegas. And of course, James Statham, who you've dealt with personally for Reality Check, he says you're looking much healthier than at Reality Check in Birmingham.
Well, I mean, I felt good right up until the time I left Canada for Birmingham. And then it was, you know how that went. It all was downhill from that point on.
And the Money Slam in the house says, what up, Bang Crew? We'll get to arm wars, but what we need to do is just quietly let people know you're a 3-time world champion. We're not putting any disparage on the good goddamn name of Ryan Espey. The dude in front of me is world class. Let's go back, man, to your first world champion. Like, how does that feel when they literally sit there and in first place and world champion Ryan Espey?
Well, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like it. And WAF at that time, and even now, is the title. It's the hardest tournament in the world to win. But for me, it was the second world title that meant validation, because the first one, I wasn't even the national champion going into that match. There was 3 guys in Canada that could have won that world title that day. And we were in a constant fight to be number 1 in Canada, and any one of us actually went and have won WAF titles. And that's Mike Gould and Earl Wilson.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those 2 guys between them have several world championships.
Well, you've got to be pretty good if you've got your own classic event every year with the Mike Gould Classic every year. So Mike Gould's a bad dude. Just a quick question. We'll go back to the world titles. Whereabouts in Vegas is the match being held? My man White Wolf's been wanting to know.
Binions. So it's right on the old strip. It's one of the old hotels. And the host hotel is actually the Golden Nugget. So across the street. So, and that's where we're staying. And it's going to be, I've never stayed on the old strip before, and I'm looking forward to it.
There you go. Don't be telling people where you're staying, mate. You're gonna get the fan crew, and they're gonna be knocking on the door, waiting for signatures.
I'll find out which room Michael's staying in, and I'll let everybody know.
Yo, wouldn't that be just a nice little warm up for you? So three-time world champion, best in the world. You got the validation with your second one. But then, like, you become a world champion. One title that I find very, very interesting. You're a what is it? A World Police and Fire Games wrist wrestling champion.
Yes.
Talk us through that. I love funny, weird titles, and I was looking at that one. I was like, oh yes.
Twice. I won the World Police and Fire Games in 2001 and then in 2010.
Wow, so, 9 years. Weren't you allowed back for 9 years, or was someone just better?
It was it only happens every 2 years.
Yeah.
Which I know the math doesn't add up on that one because it went from an odd to an even. But the World Police and Fire Games, the second time, was held on the 10th anniversary of 9/11. So it was in New York City. So I actually was right-handed in the final with Mike Aiello, and I was a correctional officer at the time, and he's, of course, a New York City firefighter. So I won I actually won the right arm in 2001. I won the left arm in 2010, and I took a silver to Mike Aiello.
Oh, we need revenge. We
definitely need. We got it already.
Yeah, well, we can always get.
We got it in the World Arm Wrestling League.
Yes, that is right. Now we'll get to Let's go into the WAL career. You've had some good times and you've had some not so good times. What was probably the one thing you liked about the WAL, because you're a WAL superstar, and what's the one thing that you thought, ooh, Steve-O, we could probably improve on that?
I miss the tournaments. I miss the big super tournaments with the big prize purses. And I understand why they're gone, because you can't build characters when you don't know who's going to win. It's a bit of a crapshoot, right? So you got these guys showing up every year. You have no idea who's going to the final. You have a pretty good idea, but you can't be sure. So you spend all this money sending camera crews all across North America, and you're just not 100%. But I miss the big tournaments, and that's where, you really get to shine.
You're a tournament guy. Yeah. Jay Clean, thank you. And thank you to everyone in the chat. I have pinned Ryan's YouTube channel to the top of the comment section. I know a few of you have already jumped on and subbed to his channel. Really, really appreciate it. Make sure we can get some more there, because we're going to talk about his YouTube channel a bit later on. So more tournaments. You've had, I don't know. I'm a bit old. I'm a bit different. I prefer the super match thing. But do you think it'll ever come back, the WAL?
I don't. Man, I don't. Not the way it was. They've had opportunities to come back. They talked throughout the entire time of COVID about doing something. They've kept us dragging along. I actually signed a 2-year contract in June of 2020.
Yeah.
And as we know, there hasn't been an event at all.
No.
And my contract will be up in June of this year without having pulled a single match.
Well, were you still getting paid?
Hey?
Were you still getting paid, or was it?
Well, that's the weird thing about the WAL is you sign these long contracts, and depending on who you are, they don't pay you. So you get paid for when you go to a match. So I never made a dime off my contract in the World Arm Wrestling League.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, yeah, but I mean, the contract's probably invalid at the moment because you've been able to pull anywhere and everywhere. What a shame. What a shame that's happened. An interesting contrast I'd like to get from you. You have pulled in two types of arm wars. You've pulled in back in the original arm wars back in those days, which was awesome. And then you, for those that don't know, Ryan flew over. We'll get to that story in a moment, and flew over to Reality Check over in the UK to pull. Didn't really go the way you wanted to. But what did you find that was there a huge difference between both? Was there one sort of style of the way they run it? Has there been a huge improvement from the 2000s old school arm wars to today's arm wars?
You know what? As far as the production goes, I mean, I'm not just being nice because James is in the chat, but he did an amazing job. So we saw the production and everything like that. As far as the format goes, it was very similar to the first time around. And there's tons of guys throughout the years that have always said that Arm Wars was their favorite rule set and their favorite style of pulling. And I tend to agree with that. You know, Arm Wars is kind of where it's at as far as, you know, the rules and the format of everything.
Yeah. I mean, both of them just look like shit hot fun. They both look amazing. Talk people through, Ryan. When it came to Reality Check, you were pulling the big man, Alex Kadecha. You had him right arm and left arm in the main event. Talk everyone through on your 9-day, 600-hour flight trying to get from Canada to the UK.
It was brutal, man. Like they wouldn't let me on the first flight because they just said I didn't get there in time. But it was a shit show, and I flew all over the place and all over goddamn Europe. I don't even remember half of it. Stayed extra nights in hotels and got there, got no sleep. Found my hotel room. The one night I should have got some sleep and rested, I had a whole shitload of other arm wrestlers show up and invade the room, and you know there's half drunk people everywhere. Like I wish I would have did what Rob Vigin Jr. did and showed up and said no and just turned around and went and got his own hotel room. And then I found out the entire time that we're sitting there, we're crammed into this room. Right across the hall is an empty room with nobody sleeping in it that everyone forgot about. So, you know, I could have just walked across the hall and had a room to myself. But nope, I'm in there with, you know, Vlad the Destroyer's drunk father threatening to shoot everybody because he's former KGB, you know, talking all kinds of shit. And, you know, it wasn't the best experience as far as trying to get rid of jet lag, get something decent to eat, especially in the middle of COVID in the UK. And, you know, kind of on my own at that point. So I heard Matt Mass talk about his experience traveling. For me, same goddamn thing. It's going to be 5 days ahead of time. Yeah. James is saying, we actually had another room, but the Bulgarians all jumped in yours. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I'm
not 100% they wouldn't have used my toothbrush if I left it out.
It was funny. I remember during all of that, the whole thing, like Neil would go live and everyone's having a chat and it'd be like, yep, Ryan Espey's on his way, you know, it's awesome and things like that. And then he would look and it was something like, oh, he has to go to Norway. He has to have a stopover in Norway. And then like half an hour later, it's like, oh, no, they're changing it. And he's got to have a stopover there. Oh, it's a 9-hour wait at the airport and things like that. How much did you, like, did that just drain you? I mean, you're a world-class athlete. You've traveled and you've done it before. But how much did this just smash your mind?
It was, you know, Alex, I'm not going to take a win away from him or make an excuse for myself, but holy man, to do anything after that would have been tough. Like, you can't even think straight and try to get fired up in the middle of all that. And then you pull your first match and the worst possible thing happens. But I kind of knew I was screwed. I was warming up with, I told this story once before, but just warming up with Uncle John, just some light pulling, and my arm just blows up. Like it's so pumped I can't even move. And match number one, Alex opens up my hand. I kind of pull him back, dead wrist. And three distinct tearing sensations in my arm, and continue to pull, and actually pulled match number two, I believe, and couldn't do anything. I shouldn't have pulled match number two. And then we saw all the colors. It turned a very short time later.
Your arm looked like a deadly rainbow. White Wolf, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, "Sup, Jake and Ryan. My favorite match at Arm Wars was yours and Alex. We all watched the shit show of your journey. Reminded me of Matt's."
I believe Matt's was on the way home, though. That's the difference.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been way better. I spoke to Matt yesterday. Yeah, it would have been way better if it was on the way home. Not that it was good at all, but I could just imagine. Yeah, I've done a bit of traveling myself, and just waiting an hour at the airport can just be mind-boggling. You were having 5-hour stopovers and things like that.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Hopefully moving forward, that doesn't happen again. So then we get to the match. Don't worry, guys, if you're just joining us, first of all, give us a like and a ready bang. And we haven't spoken about the Monster Michael Todd match yet. We will get to it very, very shortly. How did you feel? You've gone all this way, like we said, 9 days, 600 hours. You've gone absolutely nuts. And then you get injured in the first or second round on the right arm of the main event. Was that
first match?
The first match. Was that just like soul destroying?
It was the worst. You can't even imagine it. Like, I thought to myself, why didn't I just turn around and drive back home? And I'll tell you why, because I told Neil I'd be there, so I made sure I was there. And pulling match two, I mean, you get a bit of a glimpse of what happened because we're all mic'd up, and you can hear the conversation that's happening between after the injury happened. And man, I was gonna keep going and probably just lose the 6 rounds, but kind of glad I didn't, because I don't think Alex would have been understood the magnitude of the injury, and he would have just kept blasting through my arm.
You made a wise call.
Yeah, and it was torn. It was it's the common tendon. So basically right here that holds all your wrist flexor tendons was completely severed. So, sometimes you get an injury where it can be beneficial to have it torn and then reattached with a leverage disadvantage, or with a leverage advantage. Sorry, this is the opposite. Now this, instead of connecting where it should be, connects right about here. So it's actually makes it a longer, weaker lever in a sense.
Wow, bloody hell! So if everything went, I mean, you saw Alex just pull Dave on the weekend. You've seen Alex, rise and rise again. If things were different and you had a decent flight and you didn't get injured, what do you believe the outcome would have been? Both arms.
Honestly, probably I probably would not have still been able to beat his right arm. Left arm, I really think about that a lot. It keeps me up at night. What would have happened? And my long-term goal, and maybe down the road, like it could even be the swan song at some point, is a rematch with Alex.
Oh, I tell you, if someone got the oven on, I smell a rematch. Get a left arm action, Ryan versus Alex. I think James Statham in the chat is just sitting there and licking his lips going, I could produce the shit out of this. This would be dead set amazing. The rematch, the comeback from the injury. George Clooney plays you in the film. It'll be amazing.
It would be something, man, and that's kind of the goal. But I know that I'm not going to ask for that until I'm sure I've earned it. So, getting through Michael, getting through Corey West, getting through some guys that are overseas, like guys like Morozov pulling left hand. Like that's a guy that I wouldn't shy away from. It's time to build some momentum, but it's kind of like what Matt said last night. Everything kind of hinges on match number one. So I go and I can't lose this match. That's it. I can't. I won't. I can't.
Amazing. Amazing. Absolutely, absolutely love it. And speaking of those matches, you've called yourself the Monster Hunter just for this weekend. We've got a huge match. If you don't know, Vegas this weekend, Ryan Espey is taking on the Monster Michael Todd on the left arm. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be really good. Yep, thank you very much, Benji Mac. He's like, super matches start at 2 p.m. and you better bloody believe it, the Aussie arm wrestler is going to call that action. You need to buy the pay-per-view on armbets.tv. When it came to this match, I'm always interested. Sometimes they're not the most exciting ways they're done. But who approached to for this left arm matchup? And why is it set at this Vegas?
It's funny, man, because Michael is always, he's dabbled in the left arm, right? And he's actually had some impressive matches with the left arm. If you go back a few years before he hurt himself, like he was right in there with Wagner. Now, how did it happen? Well, I was looking for places to make a comeback. So I was starting to feel healthy again, starting to think, and I was lined up to pull Cody Merritt. And Cody, that should have happened already a few weeks ago.
Yep.
He pulled out of the match because his arm, like his health for his arm wrestling muscles wasn't cooperating. So he was out, and I was looking for something to do. And I saw Matt get announced to pull Tim Bresnan. So I reached out to Matt and I said, hey, what's Sean Hancock's contact information? Ooh. He sent it to me, and I quickly reached out and I said, hey, tell me about the tournament. I was just going to enter the event. I had no intention of pulling a super match. I was just going to pull the tournament. And he said, do you want a vendetta? And I said, absolutely. What do you got? And within the next 20 minutes, I was getting a message from Rebecca saying, hey, I hear we're going to see you in Vegas. So, and then he's like, how about Monster Michael Todd? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a surprise.
There you go. Beautiful. And that's how we just go. Bang. That's awesome. Thank you, everyone in the chat. The conversation is flowing. A lot of people in the chat are looking to be at this Vegas event, either in the tournament or coming to watch. And then we've also, we've got a poll running, and at about 88% are just going bang. They're saying that you are going to win against the Monster Michael Todd. Now, you saw the match that he had with Robbie Topi on the left at his factory. Did anything impress you? Did you just look like a vulture around a dead carcass and go, beautiful there? What did you see?
I saw well, first of all, man, I don't know about Robbie, what's going on with him, but he didn't look like, to me, he didn't look like the same guy that pulled Cody Merritt. He just didn't. But he still looked impressive. And Robbie, is a left arm specialist. He is ranked really high, or he was. And then Michael came in and got that really explosive shoulder roll or press or whatever you want to call it into Robbie's arm. And Robbie was playing catch with him and just peeling him out. And just seemed to struggle to initiate any kind of a move. He was always reactive, and he kept going off the back of the pad too. So when you're trying to catch something that's coming straight forward, it's going to be tough to keep your elbow on the pad.
Yeah.
Did Michael look impressive? He absolutely did. Did it give me a little bit of nervousness to see what he was doing there? A little bit. It made me feel a whole lot better when, there seemed to be about 3 bullets in that chamber, and then it kind of emptied.
Ooh.
So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. If Michael doesn't get me in match 1, it's going to be a long night. for him.
Now it's a six round super match.
6-rounder, yeah.
Guys, give us in one word how we going to do it. Are we going with Ryan Espey or are we going with the Monster Michael Todd? Let's get the comments section flying, and I'll get some of your answers up on the screen. If you've got a fun little analogy, if it's the Monster Hunter or will the monster bite Ryan's head off, let us know. Which is going to be good. What's the game plan, Ryan? What's the game plan? Can we let any magic tricks out of the hat? What's the game plan against Monster?
It's pretty simple, man. He's gonna get beat to the punch every time, and I'm gonna hit right through that shoulder press of his.
Very, very, very confident. Jay Gilbert, it's just a thing. Everyone's like best of 5, best of 7. What's with 6 rounds? It's just a thing for forever. I'm not keen on 6 rounds. I want a winner. I don't want to draw. See what everyone else is saying. White Wolf says Ryan slays the monster. The Money Slam, Marcus Thompson. Phil, you're in Engen and Ermy's club. Oh, I think he's talking to someone else. Mike will gas
talking
out.
about the straps.
Yeah. Mike will gas out. And here's a fun little question because we're going to speak more about the Monster Michael Todd match. But out of the elite super heavyweights, who is the easiest opponent for Ryan, stylistically in his mind?
I don't know if Christian Binney would still be considered elite, but that would be probably stylistically the easiest guy for me to pull.
Why is that?
Because he is constantly trying to initiate almost a defensive hook against an elite top roller. It's not a good move.
Is there anyone else?
Man, I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a really I don't think any of the elite guys are easy.
Come on now. Drop names. All righty. What else have we've got? Devon's Forearm says Monster 17.0 will win.
We're not at 17.0. We're only at 14.3.
17. What? Well, no. Where was this one? The Schmo. I feel unpatriotic saying this, but Espey wins. V. Poge, thank you very much for your super chat. Really appreciate it. He says, Ryan, when you pulled Alex, it was closer than it looked. You can win for sure versus the monster. Good luck. Which is, thank you very much, Poge. Aaron, the match is this weekend. How many rounds do you give Michael for this one? How many rounds do you believe that he can get on you?
None.
He's called it. I love when people come on the show and give us a big call. And don't get us wrong, anyone in the chat. This isn't showing any disrespect to Michael Todd at all. This is just how confident this world champion is on his left arm. Show everyone how big it is again.
This one right here?
Look at that.
Listen, Michael and Rebecca and I and my wife, we're all friends, but we got business to take care of.
Absolutely. That's just the way it goes. And hopefully after this business is booming, because then if you win, Corey West is going to try and take revenge from there.
It's like an old kung fu movie where, the master gets taken out and the young student has to come and try to avenge.
That's right. That is right. We've definitely got a Bruce Lee arm wrestling movie on the go there. So how do you go? Do you rate Monster Michael Todd better than Corey West? Do you rate Corey West's left better? Do you think they pull the same? Let's talk about
Not even close, man. Not even close. But I'm not even focused on Corey yet. No, it's not close as far as their styles. I think Corey is more of a straight up. Well, I got to study him a bit. I haven't really looked at him much, but They say he's untop rollable. That's the big legend we keep hearing. Corey West
Wow.
cannot be top rolled.
There you go. That's oh wow. We know Ryan loves an absolute challenge. Ryan Dragon, another Ryan in the chat. Thank you very much. He comes in with a super chat. Really appreciate it. He says, may have missed it. How do we watch this weekend and time? Good luck, Ryan. Crush him. You head over to armbets.tv and you buy yourself the pay-per-view, and it will be Saturday at 2 p.m. The super match starts. There are 4 super matches, and Ryan Espey is the main event. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ryan Dragon. So many people named Ryan in the world. It's just getting out of control. I think now you have to. I don't think you're allowed to arm wrestle if you can. Andre Roterio's jumped in. He's pretty excited. I'm watching this while in a work meeting. Laugh out loud. Beautiful, beautiful. Before I had a crack at doing this full time. I used to do that. Where was that one question? Jay Clean wants to know, what elite top roller has Corey pulled? That's a fair question. Do you know of anyone, Ryan?
Not off the top of my head. No. Has he pulled Cody? I don't know.
I don't think so. We'll get to Cody Merritt a bit later on. Just want to leave Ryan's super chat on there. Really, really appreciate the super chats, guys. When you quit your job, they're all pretty handy. But things are going in the cogs. And another thing that is going in the cogs, a very, very, very interesting and underrated show, and that's the Can-Am Connection. The Can-Am Connection with Chocolate Thunder. How did that all come about?
You know, Jody and I have been talking, like, when COVID first started, we did a couple of shows and we just kind of, let it go, and everything kind of went about. Jeff and I had different schedules for the Total Arm Wrestling show, and then Jody and I got talking and we decided we were going to do a couple of things, and it kind of evolved, and now we have this interesting Monday morning spot that we do, and it's starting to pick up and take off and get some traction. So I'm excited that we have that going on, and we've got interest from several other people, and we've got Pradeep that's been joining us for the last couple of weeks as well. So yeah, things are happening.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm big on collaborations and things like that. One, it's just a bit of fun. Two, I'm in the belief that we all rise together, that we all come together. Because I mean, the way I see it, if one arm wrestling channel can have 1.5 million subscribers like Alex Top Roll, well, those 1.5 million people can also subscribe to other channels. And I am all about helping as many people as I can. Sometimes I might go a bit too overboard and it hurts my channel, but I feel it's good. I have seen Pradeep from Arm Wrestling News jump on. I think it's great. He's an interesting character, hanging out with you and Jody. I think it's great. Super chat from White Wolf. Thank you very much, White Wolf. Just you're pulling the reins with your tag team there. Him and the Money Slam are a tag team. They want to take on Uncle John and I, and White Wolf doing the heavy lifting today. Says, so Ryan, you flying Scare Canada? Do they ever do you a solid after the hell they put you through? Flying out tomorrow or Friday?
6 a.m. Friday.
So what's the lead up? What's the lead up? So you fly 6 a.m. Friday. Talk us through the Ryan Espey lead up for this main event match until you get to the table.
The whole thing?
Yeah. Well, what happens?
Basically, we're flying out 6 a.m. Friday. I'm going to make sure I've got a bag full of protein bars and just stuff I can eat all the way through. Make sure I'm well fed, well nourished all the way. Get to fly through Calgary, so there's a connection again. But I'm not flying Air Canada. I'm flying Delta. And I've actually paid to upgrade my seats all the way to Vegas, so my flights are not cheap. I'll stay hydrated. I'll stay fed. We'll get to the airport. We'll get to Vegas. We'll get checked in. We'll relax. Maybe just eat and drink and all night long. Make sure that we are well rested. The matches don't happen until 2. I'll sleep in pretty late. I'll get up, get ready. I'll have breakfast, a light breakfast, because I usually don't eat that much on the day of the event. I will get psyched up and ready, and I'll be ready to go when they call my name for that match.
Beautiful. So then, so from there, how do we? I'm just trying to think. How early do you get to a venue? So someone like me, I actually like getting there quite early. I love the atmosphere and all of that. How early would you get there?
2:00. I'm going to go probably check the venue out the night before. I'll do my walkthrough. I will visualize. Hopefully the table is set up the night before. And maybe the day of, I'll check it out in the morning, walk around a little bit, take in the atmosphere, but then I will disappear for a little while and come back maybe an hour beforehand.
Yeah. Okay.
Sitting there all day is just draining. So,
yeah.
Well,
there you go. Niagara Slammers has been a member for 2 months, and he just says, ready, bang. Thank you very much. Marcus Thompson, the Money Slam. Super chat, ban me again. Max Limit. It always seems to be on the channel that's missing out, Marcus. What's going on? I thought Irish on Irish. I thought we were buds. You superstar, have you heard of the Money Slam, Ryan?
No,
this guy's just a dead set superstar. He supports any and every channel and drops big money. He's a really good dude. The last couple of days, the Money Slam has missed out on my channel because he just gets carried away and has a lot of fun. The arm wrestling world is much better off with him. But he's a subscriber and a member to my channel, and I'm always appreciative of that. A question here, Ryan, as a previous realtor, did you ever use your arm wrestling to score a better deal?
I have used the fact that I have become a small level local celebrity to get deals. Yes.
Oh.
No one has ever arm wrestled me for a price reduction or a tactic. They've joked around about it until I said yes, and then quickly backed off that.
There you go. Very interesting. Thank you, Andre, for your question. And someone's just said, Derek just mentioned he's going to be there at the event looking for a left arm match. Could you do a Toddzilla and do the old 2-on-1, pay for a bit extra, get 2 paydays?
We'll see. Maybe Derek will jump into the tournament. Maybe if I'm feeling good after the super match, I'll jump in the tournament as well, and we'll see what happens.
There you go. That is that'll be interesting. Now, just going back to the YouTube channel, and then I want to talk about some stuff outside of arm wrestling because you are one bad dude. What's coming up on the Ryan Espey channel?
Well, of course, we have Jeff and I jumped back in there for a show yesterday talking about predictions, but Jody and I will be on Monday morning at the usual time from Las Vegas. We'll be live from Sin City. Jody, of course, will be at home in Oregon, and I'll be in Sin Vegas firing up my laptop, and we'll go live and do a show covering the results of the event that had just happened. And you know what? I'm dabbling with the idea of doing a mixed martial arts segment on my channel as well. I know you and Uncle John have done some wrestling stuff. Well, my other love is mixed martial arts.
Yeah, well, I'll drop a name in a moment because I've done boxing. Probably going to call the UFC this weekend. Like I'll call your main event and then get a call the UFC. Absolutely. Retro Rice Gaming with a super chat. He says, "Is that the Intercontinental belt behind you? You've never won that. You're a fake champion."
I won this belt from Tito Santana back in 1989.
There you go. There you go, Retro Rice. Thank you for the super chat. If I say the name Dave Caper.
Oh, man. Yeah. Dave Capar is a local Winnipeg bouncer legend kickboxer that has had several kickboxing matches, several boxing matches, and one mixed martial arts match.
And what happened in his mixed martial arts match,
His
Mr.
career
Espey?
lasted 16 seconds and ended in devastating fashion.
Devastating fashion. Ryan Espey is undefeated in mixed martial arts. He's had the one fight, and he just thought, I've got lunch, I've got a buffet, I've probably got to go on the Aussie Arm Wrestlers podcast soon. So he just absolutely demolishes, finishes the match off, TKO with the punches, 16 seconds. It's taken me longer to describe the match than the match actually happened. How does that mixed martial arts match come about? I know you're very interested in it, and why didn't you do any more?
My life would look very different, I think, if I would have kept with mixed martial arts, because I was training with guys, I was training guys, I was cornering fighters, I was managing fighters, and I was around at the time before the Ultimate Fighter TV show, reality show started. So in the very early days. And it was a big part of my life. I was training several times a week for it. And then I went and I had that fight. And my wife at the time, who's now my ex-wife, so I should have stuck with it in hindsight, was 9 months pregnant with my first daughter when I was going out to the cage for my first fight. And I said, I'm going out there. I called her back 5 minutes later and said, I'm finished. And the first thing she said was, you're never doing this again.
Wow.
And I never did. It was too stressful for her. So I hung up the gloves, retired undefeated. And at one point, it was weird because Sherdog used to have a weird ranking system, not unlike the arm wrestling ranking system, which were not really based in reality, that actually had me ranked higher than Ken Shamrock for a while.
There you go. What an interesting fact there that Ryan was ranked higher than Ken Shamrock. Ryan Espey's just gone bang. Super chat here from the Money Slam, Marcus Thompson. Always appreciate your support. He says, Ryan, any aspirations to shoot for super heavyweight top 10? Jake, thanks. Got the shirt, you superstar. Hopefully it fits, because I know you're a tall guy, Marcus Thompson. If it does, send me a photo. Send me a photo. Thank you very much, Marcus Thompson. So, yeah, any aspirations for top 10?
Always. 100% of the time, I'm trying to, improve my standing in the arm wrestling world. So it's something I'm always thinking about. Right-handed, it's going to be a hard thing to do. Right-handed, it will be a hard thing to do. Now,
yeah.
I saw a comment earlier where somebody said I got smoked by Levon left-handed at the 2018 Worlds. That's actually not true. I pulled right through his hand, and then I fouled, and that's how I lost that match.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
don't get sucked into the comment section.
The trolls
Most
are
90% of them are dead set legends, like everyone hanging out with us.
But I have been on the table with Levon Saginashvili.
What does that feel like?
A much different version of Levon. A much different version. Because I'm not saying anything, but the event we were at, there was some testing going on. And we had to make sure that we all passed those tests.
What is your thoughts on that? Do you care? Does it bother you? Do you wish everyone would stop? Do you wish that, things would be different? What's your thought on the whole situation? Because we all can't be, what are you, 6'3", 6'4", 377? 6'4", 377. We're all string beans here, 200-pound string beans over here.
Do I wish it was gone? Yeah, I kind of do.
Yeah,
I kind of do. I wish there was a world where we could all somehow control performance enhancement, and it was a level playing field where none of us could do it, have the ability to do it. I would love to be a part of that world. However, that's not reality. So it's going to be here. And when somebody is, we're celebrating it now. We're calling it other names that are cute and, catchy. But what the hell are you going to do? You can call and even the comment that you are more professional if you're going that route. More professional meaning you take more preparation with your whole supplement regime is like when RVJ made his video. I mean, I feel his pain. I do. But
Yeah.
what the hell are you going to do? It's going to be part of the world. And even Derek from More Plates, More Dates, I posted the clip of him saying, arm wrestlers just roll the dice. They even go to the tested events, gassed right up. And that's the way it is.
And hope they get picked. Well, Retro Ricer doesn't think any Canadians are gassed up because he says, why do Canadians always pretend to be tough?
Retro Ricer Gaming. Why don't you come ask me in person?
Retro Ricer Gaming, to be fair, a huge supporter of the channel, and he's my favorite retro gaming channel. Dead set superstar, and just loves the banter, and a huge MMA. He flew to, I think it was Vegas, to compete in Jiu-Jitsu Worlds.
Fantastic.
So he would be actually the three of us doing an MMA show. I reckon we could all shoot the shit and have a laugh.
Let's do it.
Loves the banter, and of course, he's an Aussie, so which is going good there. Phil Woody wants to know, what are the rules this weekend?
They're PAL rules, man. It's pretty standard rule set for the PAL.
There you go. Plain and simple. Crowbar Jones is pretty happy. Shout out to my fellow Canuck, Ryan Espey. He's absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. I think we're all loving having the Monster Hunter.
Hey, Joey Justafalo, he is the biggest supporter of arm wrestling on YouTube across all channels. He's everywhere.
And he says, Ryan will fail out via his notorious elbow. Joey Justafalo. You legend, as everyone is having a chat. Well, before we get into more of it, of course, when anyone comes on the show, you've got to play arm wrestling's favorite game, and that is pin one, lose one, and get rid of one. Please play at home, everyone. Please play at home. And of course, because it's Ryan Espey, it is the left arm edition of pin one, lose one. Retro Ricer, just re-clarifying what I was saying.
It's okay, man. So am I.
A fun thing.
I'm too old to be fighting anymore anyway.
And I'm not going to relieve too much, but I have a feeling that Ricer could be a nickname for Ryan. This could be another Ryan. Too many people named Ryan. Anyway, actually, I'll leave it up there. So, for those playing at home, or if you're new and don't know arm wrestling's favorite game that everyone has to play, I'm going to give the names of 3 pullers, and Ryan Espey has to decide which one he's going to pull, which one he's going to pin, which one he is going to lose to, and which one he is telling, no more arm wrestling for 12 months. No more YouTube. You are gone. Piss off. Leave us alone for 12 months.
12 months. Okay.
They're gone for 12 months. So it's left arm action. Left arm, the only arm, is the way to do it. So we've got Monster Michael Todd, who you are taking on this weekend. Cody Merritt, which I want to have a bit of a chat about you. And I'm talking about a healthy Cody Merritt. I don't want this trying to find loopholes in my game, Mr. Espey. And the third one, after a superb left arm win on the weekend, Hermes Gasparini.
Whew. I will, oh man. Pin one, lose to one. Well, I will pin Hermes.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
I will get rid of Michael for 12 months.
Not even he can't do his YouTube or anything. You're taking bread off the table.
And I will get pinned by Cody Merritt.
You don't even rate Monster Michael Todd at all. You're getting rid of him.
It's only 12 months. Left-handed, 12 months. He's out of here.
He's gone. Marcus Thompson with a super chat. Thank you very much, Marcus Thompson. You dead set ledge. He is a massive judo. He's done judo for years. So Ryan got my ears up with the history in MMA. Being an ex-elite judo player and kickboxer, what your core art and do you still roll about? So what was your main discipline and do you still hit the gym and hit the pads a bit?
I still hit the bag a bit, but that's about it. I don't roll. I wish there was a jiu-jitsu club here because I would definitely join. Core art, I would say, is probably I'm going to say boxing, man. I'm going to say boxing because I primarily stand up fought with my hands. There was some knees, so maybe you could call that Muay Thai, but it's yeah, we strictly cross trained. We weren't specialists in anything. We kind of did everything, and that's maybe ahead of the game at the time because you still back then had guys that would come in with one art and nothing else.
Yeah, well, you haven't even been in mixed martial arts for a full minute, so I don't even know if I can take what you're saying seriously. You've only been in it for 16 seconds.
Yeah.
Have a proper fight, you flog. Nah. What was that like when you've just crushed this dude? Like I know I've seen some friends and family go and have live fights. And, I've been in school fights and fights at the pub. It's not the same. But how does that feel when you have just crushed someone with your bare hands? And anyone that's had a fight in the chat, let us know.
Man, what is the feeling? The feeling of okay, the feeling of beating a guy like that. I think it was more of almost a not wanting to get knocked out feeling when I went in there. That was the main concern. And I trained to take that guy down so many times, but we trained countering kicks too. So with an overhand right that landed, it became a pretty easy decision to just start throwing punches at the guy. And when I saw the towel come over the cage at the same time the referee jumped in between us, it was like, holy shit, I can't believe it. I just won the fight. It was a weird feeling. And it's because it's a sport. Like I've been in fights where I don't feel good after. Like you feel guilty or you feel like it's just not, I never want to hurt somebody per se. But when you're in a cage and you're competing and it's a sport, it's part of it. And it's a sport. And that's what your job is. And I loved that sport, man. I loved training for it. I love competing, and man, I miss it. And one of the reasons I also quit is because I talked about this a little bit before. Because I did strongman at the time, I was doing powerlifting, I was doing arm wrestling, and I was doing mixed martial arts. And all those four things don't really go together sometimes.
No,
and somebody said to me, "Do you want to be pretty good at everything, or just the best at something?" And I picked arm wrestling.
And you became the best three-time world champion. But I think we've got Hulk Hogan in the chat. He says, you beat Tito Santana. That's cute. I only body slammed a certain giant at WrestleMania 3. So I think you got your work cut out for you. What is that belt? You won it last year. What is that belt?
That is actually, you know what? I was the CNWA heavyweight champion in wrestling as well. For winning the battle royal that was in my hometown. However, this belt is the Stronghold Arm Wrestling Championship, left-handed super heavyweight title.
There you go.
It's a league in Alberta, Canada, and I went out there and I won the tournament. That was the one where Matt Mask was very upset that I showed up without telling anybody.
Oh well, that's just what you got to do.
I actually
Loving
won
that
the
we've
right
got
arm title as well, but I forfeited the right arm title because when I got injured in the UK, the number one contender asked me, said, you should probably give up that belt. So I gave it up.
There you go. Marcus Thompson says 2 best mates went to Worlds and Olympics. Had to move to the Republic of Ireland to get selected for that. Wow, that's unreal. 70 people in the chat. Thank you. You're hanging out with Ryan, the Monster Hunter, the Woolly Mammoth, the E-Train, whatever, the Mastiff, whatever you want to call him. He is just hanging out, finally having a laugh with the Aussie Arm Wrestler. We've got 70 people in the chat. If we can just pump those likes up, that would be amazing. Thank you for everyone hanging and banging. Everyone in the chat's just talking with themselves, which is awesome. Also jumping in. One of my training buddies has just popped in, Gerard. He was actually here last night. We were hanging and banging, just trying to give it a go, and everyone pinned me, which seems to be pretty good. Right. While we'll get back to your matches and what's coming up next, but we're going, because it's been way too long to finally get me on the show, we're going to play pin one, lose one, get rid of one more time, but it is Canada's version.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
I'm going to give you three Canadians. I'm going to give you Uncle John from the Uncle John's Arm Wrestling channel and co-holder of the International YouTube Tag Team Champions of the World, the Hot Tag. So, Uncle John. I'm going to give you Devin Larratt.
Okay.
Canada's superhero at the moment. And then I'm going to give you guys who's in some pretty good form on YouTube at the moment. He was just on Neil Pickup's show. And that's Evan Burgoyne, the beer man.
I'm going to get rid of Evan.
You're getting rid of it?
No.
You've had enough.
Okay.
Why?
Because he's annoying and pisses me off.
Yes.
So Evan's out of here. He's gone for 12 months. I'm sure he'll find something to do. I'm going to beat Devin. Okay. And I'm going to lose to Uncle John because no one would ever believe that I lost to Uncle John.
Oh, you're putting Uncle John over. That's hilarious. Oh, Evan. Yeah, no, Evan's a star. Yeah, Marcus Thompson's not happy. He says no beer for you then, Ryan. Marcus Thompson loves the beer man. So unlucky for you. All righty. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, Ryan. You're not allowed to think. Just answer.
No thinking. Okay.
Just first thing that comes to your head. Do you prefer super matches or tournaments?
Tournaments.
Are you a fan of the King's move?
No.
Did you prefer WAL or Arm Wars?
Arm Wars.
Did you prefer mixed martial arts or strongman?
Mixed martial arts.
What is the one thing besides performance enhancing that you hate about arm wrestling?
Oh my God. Oh man, you know what? It's hard for me to come up with something I hate about arm wrestling. What's the hate?
Wow. Okay, awesome. Would the question be better? One thing you would improve then?
You know what? This is the thing, right? So you could say rule set, but people are constantly trying to do new things. You know, I kind of like the rule change stuff, the strap stuff, all those debates hopefully lead us to a place of improvement. You know, I can't say that, you know, less of something or more of something. There's a lot of YouTube stuff out there, but I mean, why shouldn't there be? There's room for everybody. Maybe the one thing I would improve that I kind of hate that we have talked about a little bit is non-original content, not stealing. I don't like it when people just grab everyone else's stuff and run with it.
Yeah, we'll
That
yeah,
could be
we'll get.
something I would change.
We'll, yeah,
Do
nice
your own
one.
thing. If it's not good enough, maybe stop doing it.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of people, a lot of people just don't care, and they think they're awesome. They literally just rip it off and chuck it on their channel, and then try and share it around, and they're getting paid to do it. So that's why we need more. We need more. I don't know how people that do all the copyright stuff and things like that, because people might say that I've ripped people off. I actually get permission or given footage for me to commentate other people's. Devon Forearm says auto straps. We're going to get to the strap rules in a moment. Just a few more questions. Why did you give yourself the nickname the E-Train?
It was given to me by a guy I worked with, and he said, "You're as big as a freight train, but nobody." He said, "Nobody. I can't call you that because somebody already has that name, so I'm going to call you the E-Train."
Do you hate Alex Cadecha?
No, absolutely not. Alex is a sweetheart of a man. Like, he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. How could anybody hate Alex Cadecha?
Oh, it's pretty hard because I just saw because of the injury, there might have been some ill will.
No, absolutely not. In fact, I spent time with Alex afterwards, and we had a good time. And he took me to all places, a Polish restaurant in the UK, which I found weird because, you're out and about, you want to try things from the region, but nope, he wanted to find a Polish restaurant.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, he seems like a good guy. He's come on the show. He's been a superstar. Even listening to him after the King of the Table match, being gracious in defeat, just a resounding stand-up superstar. He was awesome. Now, the big match that's coming up in June, everyone's always talking about and going to continue to talk about it, Devon versus Levan. What are your thoughts on it all?
I believe that Devon can win this match.
Now, is that Ryan Espey, the arm wrestler, talking, or Ryan Espey, the Canadian patriot?
Here's the deal, man. So I love my country. I don't let that blind me to predictions and all that kind of stuff. And don't tell me that Devon's different, because Devon has lost so much money betting against me in the past. He's lost money. He's lost money to my wife betting against me at events. Okay, so we can still say we don't think the other guy is going to win and be okay with that. We're not going to hold ill will, because that's just silly. Maybe he does. I don't know, but I think as an arm wrestler, not as a Canadian, I don't. With this amount of time to prepare and the lengths at which Devon is prepared to go to, I believe he can win. I think he has a chance. Is it likely? He's the underdog. He's a big time underdog.
Have you got a score for us?
All right, let's what's it out of? Is it 6-rounder?
Yeah, King of the Table, 6 rounds.
I'm going to say that it is 3-3, and then Devon wins the silver bullet.
What would he have to do to win?
Get in a position where he can hold Levan and drain the shit out of him repeatedly.
Yeah.
There's nobody in the sport that has better endurance than Devon. He just needs to stop that match.
There you go. Love it. I love it. I think that's what a lot of us are thinking. One funny story I want to share. I want to go back and forth. Remind me who said. I think you said it to Jeff Frank. Someone said it. I remember having a chat. We're on someone's show, might have been Arm TV or something like that back in the day. And one of you were at an airport, and you got to put your phone in the case to go through. Now, was it you that messaged Jeff?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me tell the story. That's right. So it's one of my favorite Ryan Espey stories. So I think we were all just having a chat on Gary Roberts' Arm TV. And Jeff was like keeping up to date because you were doing your your show, and we're all just having a chat. Jeff Frank's at the airport, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just about to go through customs. You know, I might not be able to reply. I've got to put my phone down." And then you texted something to Jeff. What did you text?
I think it was, do you still have that handgun on you or something like that?
Yeah. I remember you saying it, and I just picturing hopefully the screen was facing up, and just hoping as it went through, you know, one of the custom servers just went, "Excuse me, sir," and then get the glove and go. I thought that was hilarious. There's a really good question. Where was it from? Scott, not exotic. What is a great Ryan Espey match I should watch? What is one of your favorite matches?
Well, the WAL matches with Cody Merritt, I like those ones a lot. The Mike Aiello matches, the from the regionals, actually that regional video that is on NBK, the NBK channel. That's a good one to watch. The final matches or anything from the Worlds, like, I mean, I had okay matches even back then with the likes of Marcio. Man, there's a ton of them out there. I mean, I've been arm wrestling for 25 years.
There you go. Guys, he's done it all. He's pulled John Brasink in a shopping center. Like Ryan's pulled anyone and everyone. He's gone and done the Arm Wars. He's gone and won WAF World Championships. I mean, I don't think you would ever get disappointed, Scotty, if you just typed in Ryan Espey arm wrestling. Even some of his losses, like when you pulled Jerry Caderet and you were trying to top roll his press and just couldn't, like you didn't get the win, but I still find that match interesting. One of the rare guys, sometimes when you lose, it's actually still a pretty interesting match. Now, Cody Merritt, left arm. We want that match to happen. Cody's a big fan of the show. Shout out to you, mate. Hope the injuries are all going really well. How do you see that match happening? And do you believe you're the number one left arm puller in North America?
At the moment, I do believe that. Cody and I have pulled quite a bit, and I have never been pinned by him. The only loss I took to him was at the 2018 Worlds. We both pulled the Masters division, and I took a loss on fouls to him, and I came back from the B side and beat him twice in the final. Now, we were supposed to do it again. However, the injury for Cody happened, and he is accelerated, and but now he's injured. So do I believe I'm currently number one in North America? Yes. Devin claims that he can beat Cody, and he claims he will kill me in a left-handed match. Devin should stop saying things like that unless he is prepared to actually accept a match. Now, if he does, I'm happy to oblige.
Wow. What will it take?
Him saying yes. That's it.
Let's make this happen. Absolutely. Oh, I am going to screen grab that and send it round there. That is wow, that is unreal. So then you feel you're number one in North America. You want that match with Devin. Awesome. Who do you feel would be, where would you sit in the world of left arm? Clearly below me, but let's keep it cordial. Let's not cause any awkwardness here. Let's just call a spade a spade. But where would you sit yourself in the rankings?
That's a tough one. I don't know. The left arm internationally is a big unknown for the past couple of years. So you have the PAL guys that some of them are exceptional. I mean, Oleg Zok was mentioned, and no, I have not Barbarian arm wrestling. I've not pulled him in the practice match. The only time I was ever in a room with him was at the World Championship when we both had other obligations. But Um, man, I don't know. It's a tough one. I mean, I have to assume that I would be sitting somewhere in the top 20 in the world for sure. It's interesting because guys like Jordan Sonev are up there, and I've beat him in Moldova.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan Makiv, like that guy got pretty lucky in that Moldova match. It's a little bit controversial and it's a bit of a sore spot for me, but you know, I think I can hang in there just about with any of them.
What's arm wrestling without a bit of controversy? Of course. So, king of the table, East versus West. Have you been approached by any of these two? Obviously, arm wars you have, but have you been spoken to on the phone? Hey, man, how's the arm feeling? Have you got a match?
Engen actually offered me a match against Arif Artem at the very first one that he did, but it was very close to the UK event, and it was just not to be, and especially not after the injury.
Well, of course.
And it was a right-handed match.
Ah.
Now, I am certain that if I were to say, hey, Engen, give me a match over there, he might entertain that.
What Europeans? So we know you'd love to just remind Devin you're the number one in North America. What would be the big left-hand European match that you just have a look and you lick your lips and go, let's hang and bang? It doesn't mean that you're going to crush them. You might sit there and go, you know what it's like, man. You've been around the traps. I'm preaching to a choir here. You would just sit there and go, that is a match.
You know what? That's a tough one for me. Like, I called for Wagner at one point. You know, maybe Hermes Gasparini is a match that I would like to have as well. So, you know, I see his performance. He had a good win. People are talking about him. Why not?
Oh, this is what we want. This is why we get Ryan on the show at the right time. So he can just sit there and go, everyone's getting paid. Give me a slice of that pie. I've got this left arm here, and I'm ready to just absolutely treat everyone like Coke cans and crush them. Going there, Billy Berg. Billy boy. Southeast Smashers Arm Wrestling Club. He says Espey is Canadian lefty king. Thanks, Billy. Do you like being called a lefty king?
I love it. Billy is actually was at the last practice I did before I started my rest period for Michael.
Yeah. Marcus Thompson, the Money Slam. Of course, everyone is just losing their shit on. I'm not sure you're a family man and things like that. You got a beautiful wife. I'm sure you spend a bit more time off social media than most with work and everything. But the shitstorm of the rankings, which I love, as Money Slam wants to know, who are your top 10 heavyweight rankings right now?
Oh, man, that's something that requires thought. So are we talking North America? Or are we talking world? Because world, man, I have no idea. If we're talking North America, I could probably fill it up in no particular order pretty easily.
Well, let's start off with North America and then Marcus Thompson. Do you want North America or do you want the world rankings or even a top 5 world rankings? Really appreciate all the super chats, all the support, all the like, share, and subscribe. You're here with Ryan Espey. He's got a huge match on the weekend, which we'll finish up talking about that matchup. But give us top 10 just in anything.
Top 10 left arm North America. Well, me, Devin, Cody, Robbie, Michael will be in there now. Corey West. Man, oh man. Probably Latimer's in there somewhere. I don't know where Benny's at. He's apparently got a super match coming up. And then you can fill it out with someone like Marcio. Marcio is dangerous. And then
on the left.
I think Vrej is probably in there. He's not even a heavyweight. Like he's a small heavyweight.
See, Ryan, this is where you bother me. This is where you really get in there. We're all having fun, mate. No, we're all having fun. and this was good. And then you had to mention Vrej being right up there because he's got a left arm match with Lachlan Adair.
Lachlan is in
up.
deep, deep trouble.
Boy, I invite you onto my show. I thought we were friends. I thought we got along, and then you got to do me like that. He is in absolute, chaos. Vrej is unbelievable. Unbelievable on both arms. He's just one big ball of concrete. And, of course, I'm going to support my man, Lachlan Adair. What are the chances?
Like the gravitational pull is different from Australia to the rest of the world. So the weights that you lift down there on camera look like they're the same weight as the stuff we do in North America, but they're just not.
Ryan Espey has just gone bang. Speaking of Lachlan Adair and Australian arm wrestling, what are the chances of getting you to Australia at the end of the month for Over the Top 2?
It's just not going to happen. It was supposed to happen. In fact, when Over the Top 2 was scheduled originally, I was actually coming to arm wrestle with Lachlan left-handed.
Yeah, I remember you speaking to me. You're like, what's the go? What's the go? What's happening? And then I'm sure you spoke with Phil Rasmussen, Australian arm wrestling president, who's doing some great things. And when you messaged me like straight after the announcement, I was like, oh man, this is so cool. I'm gonna have a beer with Ryan. This is brilliant. So what a shame. If you don't know, Over the Top 2, the Aussie arm wrestler and Phil Rasmussen will be calling the action. I'm going to compete as well. Probably one of my last tournaments I'm going to compete in because I'm just too knackered commentating and then getting on the table. So I'm going to just focus on super matches there. But we've recreated it. It's got to look exactly the same as Over the Top movie. Marcus Thompson wants to know, is Evan in the top 10 left? Laugh out loud.
No,
just the flat out now. And everyone's getting stuck in here, Ryan. Evan McGoyne, top 10 lefty. Come on, Espey.
Just prove to me by telling me one of those guys I named that he can beat.
And the man you're actually laying down to has just popped in. Uncle John from the Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show and co-holder of the YouTube Tag Team Champions of the World. He's just popped in. He goes, what up, boys? Ryan, I assume you're pulling nationals since it's in Manitoba.
That is correct.
And will you lose?
No, I will not.
Uncle John, if you rewind this a bit, I included you in the Canadian version of Pin One, Lose One, Get Rid of One, and you'll be very, very surprised with the results there. He is hanging and banging. And we've got Ryan doesn't like Evan. Finds him annoying.
I like Evan, okay?
I know you like Evan. I know you like it. Just Uncle John Paul, Aussie arm wrestler in a super match. To be fair, Uncle John would smash me. He's been pulling for 10 years. I've only been pulling 2.5 on and off. So there is no chance there. There's no chance there. All right. Oh, Jesus. I didn't realize we've been going for almost an hour and a half. Right, guys, this weekend, main event madness. You got Ryan Espey, the Monster Hunter, just looking to stop this freight train of the left arm that is the Monster Michael Todd after an impressive win against Robbie Topi. Armbets.tv. Armbets.tv. We're going to get in there and buy the pay-per-view. I'll be calling the action. I have invited my cohorts, to call the action with me. Keep your eye out on Ryan's YouTube channel. He's called it a 6-0. 6-0 whitewash.
That's it.
And Uncle John, who has been a member for 2 months, really appreciate it, Uncle John. For some reason, it doesn't come up on there. But he says, I pulled Ryan when I was 320 pounds. It didn't go well.
That's a true
Do you
story. Yeah, he got
Yeah.
a third place at the Nationals. It's not as prestigious as yours. The
Thank you.
Canadian Nationals, super heavyweight, bronze medal behind myself and Earl Wilson.
Not a bad two to get behind.
Not
Not a
bad.
bad two. And he's just decided to drop 140 pounds or whatever it is. I think he's going to pull 187s at Nationals.
That's crazy to me. Like that's a significant amount of weight. And I kind of did that myself once. I went from 388 down to 240 and actually pulled
Whoa!
the national championships at that weight.
And then just couldn't maintain it, didn't like it.
Didn't like it, didn't feel strong, still got the national title. I was gold in the 242 class. Silver was actually Matt Mask with the left arm. And but it was too much.
Man, 240. Geez, because what are you? Yeah, 377. 377 now. So the thought of, like, that's like my wife, 130. Oh, that's probably heavier than my wife. I'm trying to think. My wife's 55 kilos or 50 kilos, 55 because she's pregnant. So it's like you've dropped my wife off your body to pull there. Wow. Well, yeah, he says, I'll pull 187 at Nationals, I believe Uncle John has just said.
He's going after D'Antonia, and the problem is he might have actually gone right past D'Antonia, and Anthony might be pulling 198s.
Well, there you go. Quick shout out. He's watching on Facebook. He's Steve Pettis. Steve Pettis just had an amazing event. Michigan State's just did a phenomenal job there. And just saw he had a good pay-per-view as well. The stream was good. The event was good. Absolutely loved it. Congratulations to you, Steve, you big ledge. 500 plus entries at an event. So it'll go from there. All right, the finish up. I want to know, Ryan, you go and pin Monster Michael Todd. You go and pin his son, Corey West. You've destroyed that family. What's next?
Well, it's the Nationals. It's the national championships. And you got guys like Pork Chop that want to come out and try to take that from me. So it's not going to be an easy national championship, but that's what's happening in July. So in between there, if we line up something like I really, really want to go to Dubai for one of those events. I would love that opportunity. So if Adam or give me a call.
Get him on there. I'm telling you, King of the Table 5, let's just get some left arm action happening against Devon, and then I'll fly over with Ryan as well so I can call the action and hang out with him. Yeah, man, the events look unbelievable, and it's going to be good. Do you have any other super matches booked for the rest of the year yet?
Nothing is booked yet. So it's those two. Now, I see guys like Matt. He has the schedule done until Christmas time. Like, it's busy. I don't have that yet, but I want to make sure that I've got a couple of wins before I start getting too crazy and ahead of myself.
Nah, don't be silly, mate. While the iron is hot, you need to strike. We are in a purple patch of arm wrestling, and promoters are willing to put it on there. I think you should just sneak around and see if you can pull Lachlan Adair as well when he comes over at the end of May. Mate, I would, if you're a promoter, just go and get it done. Go and get it done. Get this man some matches, get this man paid, and get him to make left arm great again. Great again. And then we've got a $5 super chat saying fantastic weight comparison from Billy. And everyone is just, everyone's just amazed that Uncle John was 320 pounds. Was 320 pounds. Guys, I've pinned at the top of the comment section Ryan Espey's YouTube channel. He's doing some fantastic things. He does stuff with Jeff Frank, does his own stuff. He's got the Can-Am connection, throwback to Rick Martel, Tommy Zank. So I was very happy with that name.
Yeah.
With Jody Williams. Yeah, Jody Williams, another that's why when I saw the pairing happen, I thought this is going to be a good show because, Jody, very underrated. And just like everyone, we're looking for, everyone's channel to build up and to get to a stage where we can just put a video up and that's where we make our money. Because how many subs are you at the moment, roughly?
Just over 3,000.
Beautiful. And I mean, there's a reason that we can all grow because we all started at just that one subscriber. And Ryan's doing well. I'm doing well. We're all doing well. We're just joining there. Now, to finish up, Ryan, I'm going to get you an absolute ripper here. First of all, can you please nominate someone that you think would have a lot of fun on the show, who'd be an interesting guest to come on the show?
Oh, man. How soon?
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Just someone that you would think it's good. Like, because it's as the show's getting bigger and getting a bit busier, sometimes I can be booked weeks in advance. And, sometimes a particular match comes up and I can get them on the show. You know what I mean? Like I had to rebook someone so you and Matt could come on the show, which I was very grateful for, but I won't mention their name.
You can't go wrong with a guy like Travis, of course, because, there's still a rumor that he is pulling Cody Merritt in the spring.
There you go. So you nominating Travis Bajan.
I would like you to have Travis and Cody Merritt on the show at the same time.
Ooh, I do like that. I've had Cody on a few times. He's a really good guy. And of course, I'd love to have Travis Bajan. We've had some conflict issues in the past, and he hasn't been able to come back. We just haven't been able to work it out. But hopefully, I can get that superstar on the show. Now, Ryan, you've had a bit of a secret grudge against the Aussie arm wrestler because whenever you've been on shows, you know what's coming. I finally get my revenge. Usually what happens, guys, on the show, when someone's like Aussie arm wrestlers in the chat or I'll do a super chat, everyone shouts out a ready bang. Except if your name is Ryan Espey, because he dug his heels in and he was like, no, not doing it until he comes on my show. Ryan, you're on the show. Can I get an impersonation of the number one catchphrase in the world?
Ready, bang!
Yes, I got him. I finally got him. We're back to being best friends again. This is awesome. I actually genuinely do apologize, and I did before we even started the show, that it took me way too long to get you on because we talk all the time and, frequently, whether it's in chats or other shows. And so you just think that you've had them on and things like that. But this is actually the first time that Ryan has come on the show. And I tell you what, I have had an absolute blast. Guys, if you can, please subscribe. Everything that is Ryan Espey, please. What I'm really begging you to do as well, if you can, is buy the pay-per-view. Buy the pay-per-view. And why I say that, because if Ryan Espey is main eventing and it's like, holy crap, we just got a bazillion buys, Ryan Espey gets more matches. And we want Ryan Espey on more matches. Therefore, he can stop arm wrestling people to buy houses. And then we can just see him wrestling on the table because he's knocking people out in 16 seconds. So basically, if you don't subscribe to his channel, buy the pay-per-view, and then watch the Aussie arm wrestler commentate his match, he'll come and knock you out in 8 seconds. Ryan, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, everyone that has joined me here. I've got plenty coming up on the weekend. Live commentary for arm wrestling and UFC. Might do a call-in show in the next 24 hours. In 25 minutes, head over to Uncle John's channel. He's got Arm Wrestling University with Corey Miller. And, of course, check out everything that Ryan Espey is doing on the channel. Ryan, you want to finish us off?
Yeah, man, make sure you hit like and subscribe on both channels. This one too, if you haven't already. And you know what? Watch that event this weekend. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to the Schmo. Go watch Derek Smith for 25 minutes. He's live now. I'm going to pop in and say g'day to him. As you know, we all, where was it? We all support everything. Ben Young is a huge fan. He says, Espey, just a chill guy. Love to listen to him. I might get you, Ryan, to just read in your voice a couple of children's books. So then when my baby's born and she's struggling, I'm just going to play that and read the book.
And I'll read it very slowly and very.
Yeah. I might listen to it to myself and just go, oh, thanks, man. Everyone, you dead set superstars. I love you all, and I will be live within 48 hours. You absolute ripper people.